Welcome back to Cinephellas. I am Kevin Muller, and today I'm going to talk about the new Apple TV movie called Fountain of Youth, starring John Krasinski and Natalie Portman and Dominique Gleeson. We have Guy Ritchie directing this one, which is a globe-trotting adventure about the pursuit of that famous fountain. Before we break it down, let's take a look at a clip.
So you really think you're gonna find a magic pool of water at the end of this?
I don't know. But I think you want to find out.
First off, I'd like to thank Apple TV for giving me the opportunity to review this film by providing it on the website for all us people, these critics, us critics, to watch. Thank you again, Apple. I love the service, some great shows and movies on it. Now, to the movie. All right, so we have John Krasinski, and he plays Luke here, who is a wisecracking adventurer who goes around chasing all the treasures of the world. He comes from a long line of adventurers. His father was one who has passed away before the film has begun, and his sister Charlotte is too. Well, Charlotte has walked away from it, and she has become a museum worker specializing in artifacts, and has become pretty boring, according to everyone around her, especially her son. And this character is played by Natalie Portman. Now, at first, Charlotte is hesitant. She doesn't want to go back to her life. She likes her family. She likes her job. She is going through a divorce, but, she doesn't want to go back to that life. She wants to be just a regular mom, but she gets pulled back in through the intrigue, her brother Luke's charms, and the promise that if she is able to help out when they get out of this adventure, the best of lawyers will be provided for her to get the kid and, basically win out in the divorce. And all these promises are basically said by the person who is the money man of this adventure, and it is Owen, and he is played by Dominique Gleeson. And he has stakes in this journey. He needs the Fountain of Youth. He has a life-threatening disease that is slowly killing him, and he wants to get there before the time runs out. Now, Krasinski has shown us that he is able to do humor. He was on The Office for all those years, and then he went over to Amazon, and he showed us that, he can kick ass and flex his muscles and do the action thing as Jack Ryan. Unfortunately, he is miscast here, trying to do the charming adventurer trope. The script doesn't really help that matters at all. It's written by James Vanderbilt. There is a lot of cheesy dialogue here that just falls flat. There is a lot of cheesy scenarios that don't work. But overall, it's just too much like winking at the screen, too many lines that are too cutesy for their own good, and it goes from charming to like kind of cringe or like yeah, as the kids say today. Also, Natalie Portman. I love Natalie Portman. I also love John Krasinski, but these two are miscast in this film. Listen, when Portman has to explain the logistics of the adventure or the puzzle, fantastic, great performance. But this is a movie where, the women are basically supposed to be witty and as funny as they're a leading man. Unfortunately, Portman struggles with the comedy. She really does struggle with the comedy. And, worst of all, these two have absolutely no chemistry whatsoever. They're not playing, romantic partners. They're playing brother and sister. But even on that merit, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And this is due to the direction. Guy Ritchie. This is a guy with a voice. This is a guy when you were watching a movie, a Guy Ritchie movie, you're like, okay, this is a Guy Ritchie movie, and none of that is here. None of that. And this reminds me of Aladdin in 2019, which, if you did not know, he directed. And I liked Aladdin more than this movie, but you can tell where he is just doing something to make money or maybe fund his next project. This is what this movie is. It is a second-rate adventure film that feels very phoned in. No one really feels committed to what's going on screen, and it sucks. Besides Dominic Gleeson. Dominic Gleeson is a very, very, very good part of this movie, and I enjoyed his performance. There is a sequence in here where Krasinski and Portman are in a bind, and they're talking slow motion. It's the camera, it's the editing, but it's supposed to be funny, but I didn't find it funny at all. I kind of found it very awkward, and you could feel Portman's awkwardness with it, and you can also feel Krasinski's awkwardness with it. That is the feel of the comedy in this movie. It just does not work. It's not funny. It's supposed to be funny. It just feels like they're checking boxes, like, okay, make something cutesy happen here, and it doesn't work. I think this could have been something. Krasinski's great, Portman's great as an actor. Just don't do it here for me. There are a lot of mistakes made here. It's kind of boring. For a globe-trotting adventure, you would think that it would have a little more spice. It would have a more kick to it. Especially with, as I said, Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie can make movies that are both violent but also hilarious and funny. And again, none of this is here. It feels like a corporate project, something that, as I said, they're just ticking boxes. And, maybe Ritchie needs money for his new British caper film that's going to come out. I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying no one's heart's in this movie. I kind of forgot about it after I watched it, and it's just a misfire. And I can understand, unlike the movie I reviewed at 7 Kevin from Apple TV, which was Fly Me to the Moon. That got great test scores, and they're like, okay, we're going to put this in the theaters. We'll put it on Apple TV too, but we're going to put this in the theaters because we believe in it. Yeah, I would not put this anywhere near a theater. This would have really bombed. It may have had a pretty decent opening weekend based upon who's in it, but once people saw everything that is not here, it lacks in everything possible that, all these people, Krasinski, Portman, and Ritchie, they're all known for great work, but none of that is here. And it is a bore, and I'm going to give this one 2 out of 5 Guy Ritchie hair pieces. So, did you check it out? Did you check out this film that just was released this weekend? What'd you think? Do you disagree with me? Do you like, oh my God, this is a great movie. I had such a great time. Or are you kind of on the side of like, yeah, this was kind of like dog shit, and, let's just move on from this. Whatever you think, let me know. Come to the website, Cinephellas.com. We're on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Yeah, I didn't say Facebook. We are always reviewing the latest in TV, movies, and video games. Come by the site, drop us some love. We always love hearing from our fans. And I'd like to thank you guys for listening. I love doing this stuff. I love talking about movies, keep you informed. And it's Memorial Day weekend. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And as we say on the site, I am Kevin Muller, and cheers.